welcome to Roving Report, a program that gives you an overview of the developments in India's northeast region. I'm your host Chandrakala and the highlights of today's program are International Yoga Day celebrated with gusto in northeast India. Two northeastern women conquer the world's highest peak, Mount Everest. First shipment arrives in Agartala under India-Bangladesh Transit Protocol. And artisans in Manipur excelling in cane and bamboo industry. Initiated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, people from all across the world came together to celebrate second International Yoga Day. The Northeast region also celebrated the day. Let's have a look.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi joined millions across the country in bending and stretching for asanas to mark the second International Yoga Day, which he said has become a Jan Andolan or people's movement since it started last year. Taking forward the PM's vision to make yoga part of our day-to-day lives, different states of the Northeast region also celebrated International Yoga Day with great fervour. Thousands of people from across Assam, irrespective of caste, creed and religion, performed yoga at the event organised by the Kamrup Metropolitan District Administration in collaboration with the Art of Living, Indian Yoga Culture and Yoga Therapy Centre.
We organized this International Yoga Day to commemorate our Honorable Prime Minister's commitment to popularize the yoga in the state and district. And there are more than 5,000 people participating, cutting across all the departments, all the organizations like Art of Living, Central Armed Police Forces, and various schools, students and all.
At Jorhat Stadium too, hundreds of students, NGOs, CRPF personnel, Army, NCC cadets, youths also participated in an hour-long yoga session organized by the district administration.
We are very glad that International Yoga Day is celebrated across the world. Our culture, our heritage has been shared by all, and we hope this yoga will help the world to build a healthier nation, healthier mankind in the coming days, because yoga is having a tremendous good effect on the health, both physical and mental health of the people.
Depicting the importance of this year's theme, Connect the Youth, Union Minister of State for Home Affairs of India, Kiren Rijiju, also encouraged the youths and others to inculcate the habit of practicing yoga not only as a part of International Yoga Day, but as a daily habit. He also performed some yoga asanas. Despite rains, yoga enthusiasm was high at Itanagar as large number of people from across the state, along with students of various schools, took part in a yoga session to mark the World Yoga Day.
Citizens जो आए हैं, योगा के टीचर्स, हमारे स्कूल से प्यारे बच्चे आए हैं. वैसे हम लोग भी बचपन से योगासन सुनते आए हैं और मौका मिलने पर कभी-कभी हम लोग ने भी ज्वाइन किया.
Asserting the importance of yoga, gurus and yogi experts from across the state of Meghalaya also joined together to various asanas of the ancient practice. Yoga lovers in large number gathered at U Thyroid Singh Saim Indoor Stadium and actively celebrated the day.
It is not only the physical exercise or postures or asanas, but real yoga is from pranayama, 8 type of pranayama. Pranayama means giving timing to breathe in and breathe out in different ways. So if we breathe in different ways for specific reasons, we can cure all the ailments in the body. We can prevent ourselves from any ailment.
Nagaland also joined the world in commemorating the second International Yoga Day by organizing yoga sessions in the different districts of the state. P.B. Acharya, Governor of Nagaland, graced the occasion along with other dignitaries at an event organized at the Indira Gandhi Stadium in Kohima.
Health is wealth. It has nothing to do with religion. It is a complete exercise of how you breathe in and breathe out. Prana Vayu means oxygen. How you take oxygen, how you release. It is a great science of our ancestors. The whole world has accepted it. Yoga Zindabad.
Similarly, northeastern states of Sikkim, Tripura and Manipur also celebrated the Yoga Day, where citizens from all walks of life participated with great gusto. The day truly was successful in giving out a strong message about the benefits of yoga.
Women in Northeast have proved their mettle in different fields, be it sports or academics. Doylin Karbi from Meghalaya and Lalrin Luangi from Mizoram have brought laurels to the nation by scaling the world's highest peak, the Mount Everest. Here's a report. For Doylin Karbi, scaling the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, was accomplishment of a dream that she had been cherishing for the past 8 years. The Meghalayan girl feels her strong determination and willpower had been instrumental in making her achieve such great heights in life.
Nga ai kublai kapakrao yaka NCC National Cadet Corps kabala ay nga kani kalat pangalit kiu yulum bahe do hakaperthai but kumjoru nga ay kajings ngongu naro kamensi yaka association jonga Meghalaya Rock Climbing Mountaineering Association, but kamtam isa walambok.
On similar lines is a story of Lalrin Luangi from Mizoram, who also successfully completed her Mount Everest expedition.
How I climb Everest it's all because of God. From my side, God gave me strength and all. Up there and different kind of mountains we saw from the top. It's so amazing to be on top of the world. I'm so happy to return to my home again.
Following the footsteps of Wansuk Marathong, who became the first woman from Meghalaya to conquer the 8,848 feet Mount Everest, Karbi became the third person and the second woman from the state to climb the tallest mountain of the world. It is worth mentioning here that as part of the training for the Everest mission, the girls had undertaken a pre-Everest expedition to Mount Dio Tibba, 19,688 feet, near Manali in Himachal Pradesh. Based on the performance, 15 cadets were selected for the second pre-Everest expedition to Mount Trishul, 23,360 feet, out of which 10 cadets were picked up for the Everest expedition. The girls thereafter completed month-long winter training at Siachen Glacier, the world's highest battlefield. Karbi is also a girls cadet instructor serving in the 62 Assam Girls B and NCC, Silchar, under the NCC Directorate Northeastern Region based in Shillong.
She's made the complete, not only the NCC very proud, but also the Army very proud of by doing such a big feast. Now, I wish her success all along and also pray to God that He will be help to her all the way.
Lalrin Luangi from Mizoram and Doylin Karbi from Meghalaya were the only women mountaineers from the Northeast region in the expedition. Such inspirational story of young women leaving a mark are an inspiration for others to carry forward such feat. Let us now take a look at some of the events that made news in the Northeast recently.
An area commander of the Achik Sangma, Achak Pagipa Kotok outfit, along with 2 others, surrendered before the authorities in Meghalaya's West Garo Hills. Netriti Sangma Elias Harara, the area commander, Telling Sangma, and a civilian cadre Lucas Erang surrendered before Inspector General SS Kingjing at Tura in West Garo Hills. The militants also deposited one 9mm carbine, a magazine, 4 live rounds of ammunition, a crude bomb and an incriminating documents. Nagaland observed the International Domestic Workers Day recently in Dimapur town under the theme Decent Work for All the Domestic Workers. Attired in aprons, more than 500 domestic workers cleaned the Dimapur Civil Hospital premises as well as cleaned the roadsides in supermarket area. Later, they marched towards the town hall, holding placards on rights, dignity and justice for domestic workers, include domestic workers in social security schemes before they culminate at town hall in Dimapur. Manipur State Film Development Society, in association with the Cine Artists and Technicians Association Manipur, felicitated the national and international film awardees in Imphal. The recipients include Meghachandra Kongbam, Gold Medal in Film Critics, Meghpaksana Warangbam, Bronze Medal in Best Director of Feature Film, Meena Longjam in Best Director on a Social Issue, and Huabam Paban Kumar in Popular Young Filmmaker. Till date, Manipur has produced some 31 Manipuri movies. The Dimapur Naga Students Union recently felicitated the students who have excelled in their studies. Some 44 students who have topped in Higher Secondary School Leaving Certificate and Higher Secondary Leaving Certificate were given gift hampers along with certificate. Such awards motivate the students to study hard. Thousands of supporters of Indigenous Peoples Front of Tripura that has been agitating for creation of a separate state called for a day-long blockade of National Highway 44 in Tripura. The shutdown crippled normal life in Tripura as vehicular movement came to a complete halt on the national highway. A large number of agitators led by N.C. Debarma, President of Indigenous Peoples Front of Tripura, gathered at the foothills of Badamura range in Champaknagar area in West Tripura as the shutdown came into force. The agitators demanded a separate Tripura land and called for political empowerment of the indigenous people. The IPFT wants a separate state to be carved out of Tripura by upgrading the Tripura Tribal Area's Autonomous District Council. The Ambubachi Mela got underway at the celebrated Shakti Shrine of Goddess Kamakhya atop the city's Nilachal Hill. The temple doors were closed on 22nd June after the regular puja and will reopen for devotees at 7:26 p.m. on June 25. Large number of devotees and visitors thronged the temple premises. Among those were sadhus and sadhvis who were in their unique hairdos and demeanor became the center of attraction. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal formally inaugurated a devotees camp below the Nilachal Hill. Over 300 CCTV cameras have been installed at the Mela premises, including at the Kamakhya temple and at the camps for vigilance. The security plan drawn up by the police includes road patrolling, river patrolling and air surveillance. The Indian Railways is operating special trains for the benefit of devotees.
In yet another move to improve India-Bangladesh ties, a consignment of steel rods reached Agartala from Bangladesh recently. It is the first such consignment of transshipment facility under the revised inland water transit between the two neighbors. We bring you a report.
In a bid to strengthen bilateral relations between India and Bangladesh and in order to boost trade, the first ever transit and transshipment facility was launched between India and Bangladesh at the Ashuganj port. The project aims at facilitating seamless movement of goods in the landlocked region. The transshipment facility combining riverine and land routes would now enable India to deliver goods to northeast via Bangladesh in an estimated 10 days and reduce transport cost by nearly 50%, thereby strengthening trade and commerce between the two nations.
যদি এরকম ভাবে ট্রানজিট বা ট্রানশিপ হয় ত্রিপুরাবাসী উপকৃত হবে ব্যবসায়ীরা উপকৃত হবে কারণ ওখান থেকে বাই রোডে যদি কোনো গাড়ি আসে তার চেয়ে কম খরচে এই নৌযানে করে আমাদের এই যে ট্রান্সশিপমেন্ট করলে তাদের সস্তায় সেই রডগুলি পাবে
A total of 1,005 tons of rods in 4 trucks entered Agartala through Akhura land port from Ashuganj port in Brahmanbaria district of Bangladesh. under a revised protocol on inland water transit and trade as part of a bilateral agreement signed during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Dhaka in June last year. India and Bangladesh agreed to let each other use their territories for transporting goods to a third country. The deal would enable Bangladesh to use Indian territory to transport goods to Nepal and Bhutan, while on the other hand, India would access Myanmar by crossing through Bangladesh. Akhora checkpoint is the second largest trading point between India and Bangladesh after the Benapole-Petrapole post in West Bengal.
সম্পর্ক বাড়ছে, অর্থনৈতিক দিক বাড়ছে, সকল দিক দিয়ে আমাদের ডেভেলপ হচ্ছে। আমরা দুই দেশের সম্পর্ক ভালো থাকার কারণে আমাদের অর্থনৈতিক ডেভেলপ হচ্ছে, জঙ্গি মুক্ত হচ্ছে। আগে আমরা দেখছি যে ভারতের জঙ্গি বাংলাদেশে তারা লুকায়িত ছিল, বাংলাদেশের জঙ্গি ভারতে ছিল। এই বর্তমান সরকার ক্ষমতা আসার পর ভারতে যত জঙ্গি ছিল বাংলাদেশে এগুলিকে একেবারে চিরতরে উৎখাত করেছে। আর এই জঙ্গিদের স্থান বাংলাদেশ সরকার, বাংলাদেশ আওয়ামী লীগ সরকার কখনো মেনে নেবে না। সারা বিশ্বে যেখানে জঙ্গির বিরুদ্ধে সেখানে শেখ হাসিনা জঙ্গির বিরুদ্ধে একেবারে তৎপর।
With the formal inauguration of the transit facility between India and Bangladesh, both the countries have set yet another milestone in their bilateral relations.
Manipur is known for its exquisite range of handicraft products. Cane and bamboo handicraft has brought lucrative business for many local artisans like Imphal-based Irom Krishnapriya. Take a look. Manipur is popular for its intricately designed cane and bamboo handicraft products. The weaving is unique and is practiced by different tribes and communities of the state. As handicraft business soared in the state, Irom Krishnapriya and her family started Krishnapriya Canes and Bamboo Company in the year 2010. Trained by Institute of Cooperative Management and Directorate of Commerce and Industries Manipur, Krishnapriya's family turned their traditional business of mats to that of cane and bamboo products. Though they started with a mere investment of ₹200, the family now earns ₹2 lakh a month. Currently, 9 people are employed with the company for salaries ranging between ₹20,000 to ₹25,000 a month.
Government sentang de amta phangjadar chakhotjagane di khalle koi training gumaju am pijaningebako sarkar na kitang help tawbiraga di training gumba piraga ai piba ngamdai ba demand jingje moi myam chu loi hairaga di phajana hena chakhotkane na khanjabala sa
Flower pots, market basket, kauna bags, fruit basket, letter box, waste paper basket, pen stand, hair clip, flat basket and keychains are among the wide range of products manufactured at Krishnapriya Canes and Bamboo Company. A unique weaving style makes these items tougher and durable. The raw bamboo used in these products is procured from Sadang Senba Marine village of Senapati district and other nearby places. Also, Krishnapriya Canes and Bamboo products has been listed under the Make in Manipur online campaign initiated by online news portal Manipur Times.
सरकार की माइकैदगी अखोइना हैंडीक्राफ्ट सेसिदी यामना हाइदी वाना तौजब थबक अमनेबा सिदी यामना खजितंग तौरगा हेक्ता पैसा जोब जोब फंगबा अदुगुम्बा ब्लैक मार्केट अदुगुम्बा नतबनिना सिगुम्बा हैंडीक्राफ्ट तौजरिबा मियोइ सिंजिदैदा सरकारना मतेंग पिबिदना सिगुम्बा हैंडीक्राफ्ट तौरिबा मी सिंजिबु चौखतनबा हाइदी पुकनिंग थौगत पियोना आई सरकार की मफमदा हाइजनी
मार्केटिंग सिस्टम सेसिदा खैतंग मार्केटिंग जे खैतंग आबदगी माइतौना हाना अमांगददी अखोई क्राफ्ट पर्सन से अदुकी मतिक कंतोरमी अदुगा हौजिक्ति याम यामना थोक्तबदौना सुम अखोइना सुम उजबा फंगजै हाजिताय
Bamboo and cane items are the most common handicraft products manufactured by artisans across the state. Hundreds of local artisans are earning a livelihood by manufacturing handicraft products as cane and bamboo items are extensively used in every Manipuri household. The handicraft sector has provided several self-employment opportunities to artisans like Krishnapriya in the state. Preparedness, alertness and cautiousness are the 3 key elements to tackle natural disasters. Focusing on that, the State Disaster Management Authority of Tripura recently conducted a mega mock drill in order to examine preparedness and create awareness among the people of Tripura about natural disasters. A report.
Tripura is one among the northeastern states in India that comes under the seismic zone with great degree of risk and vulnerability to high-intensity earthquakes. The powerful earthquake in Shillong in 1897 and Assam-Tibet border in 1950 are still fresh in the minds of the people of the northeastern region. In order to prevent such tragedies, the State Disaster Management Authority of Tripura, in association with National Disaster Management Authority, conducted a mock drill for hypothetical earthquake. The drill was organized simultaneously at 40 locations including Agartala Government Medical College and GB Pant Hospital in the state.
In the event of any kind of disaster, hospital should be 100% ready. But these mock drills helps us to identify what is our strength, what is our weakness, and where is our opportunity, and what is the threat. So now we will do that analysis, then we will act accordingly. We will try to understand what is our shortcomings, what is our shortcomings in preparedness, what is our shortcomings in the logistics supply, and what is our shortcomings in the manpower.
Several professionals, including line department officials, representatives of the army, paramilitary forces, doctors, nurses and paramedics took part in the drill. It not only gave them practical exposure but also reminded them of their critical role and responsibility. The idea was to improve with advanced planning and understanding disaster risks. Various security forces, including the National Disaster Reserve Force and firefighters, also took part in the drill. They also educated people how to respond in the event of any such eventuality.
অ্যাকচুয়ালি এরকম মক ড্রিল আমাদের খুবই দরকার ছিল। এর আগে আমাদের মানে এর জন্য একটা ইয়েও হয়েছে, মানে সেমিনারের মতো। আমি একটা সেমিনারে অ্যাটেন্ড করেছিলাম। তো এই যে এবারের মক ড্রিলটা এটা মানে ইনডোর বেসডও, আউটডোর বেসডই শুধু না, ইনডোর বেসডও। তো এটা আমাদের জন্য একটা নতুন অভিজ্ঞতাও, আর আমরা জানতেও পারলাম যে কিভাবে মানে হঠাৎ করে কিছু হলে যে আমরা মানে জিনিসটাকে টেকেল করতে পারবো, এটার একটা নতুন অভিজ্ঞতা হলো এবং এটা আমাদের খুবই জরুরি ছিল।
We have been facing earthquakes in the past, in the near future, and it can happen anytime. The last major earthquake was in Nepal, if you are aware. Now, keeping that in mind and keeping what happened in 1897 in Shillong, if that magnitude and intensity earthquake happens today, based on the population pattern and the census of 2011, the rise in population, we'll have massive loss of life and property.
The objective behind organizing such drills is to sensitize the people of the entire northeastern region and to check coordination of different agencies in order to ensure organized and structural mechanism to deal with such situations.
Well, viewers, with that we have come to the end of this episode of Roving Report. Do connect with us through our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at AnyIndia_ANI. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to get latest news updates from the Northeast. I'm your host Chandrakala, signing off with a glimpse of amazing performance by legendary melodic instrumentalist Neil Zaza along with local artists of the state of Nagaland as a mark of the celebration of World Music Day in Dimapur. Goodbye and take care.